something along the lines of that. He said,
Don't say that, dude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the legendary Chef Alexander. Chef, tell me what you just said about that guy. Tell him everything.
You got to like, you got to share, you got to subscribe.
Yeah, like, share, subscribe.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get started. I'm actually going to have you start in this weird position because then I could attach it backwards, and I'd like to be able to explain this for a second. It'll make sense at the end. If you remember, what we've been working on was these inside frames like this, and just a really quick recap, like he's like this, if people haven't seen. We're here, and now we clap hands, and my first thing is like that. I'm coming in really tight, right? And what I wanted to do was inside frames like this. I taught a private yesterday, just so you know this. In gi, it's different. Gi, you don't do the same thing. In gi, your gripping points are lower than the kneecaps. Because if they're high like this, what they do is they grab your sleeve, right, in some manner, and then they loop this over, and now you're stuck in a lasso. So your gripping points are different. In no-gi, you don't, it's not right, it's about this, okay? So it's a vice versa, because he came to me, he's here for a couple of days, and he said, hey, can I talk to you? I said, yeah, no problem. And then he said, oh man, every time I go, I couldn't pass. I was grabbing up here, grabbing my sleeve. Oh boy, that's totally different. We did the private on no-gi. Those are different grips. I'm below the kneecap on that, but with this is totally different. I'm like this at this point. We're gonna keep Ethan down so everybody can see it from a different angle. I'm like at this, we just said in the passing we were doing, we did a couple of variations. I head flared like this, I drop two behind one, I come forward, I come over and then pass like that. Then we did a variation that he's like this, I come forward, he's stopping me, keeping this leg down, and I bring this leg over, and then I butterflied this guy on top, and I took this leg. Then we went the other way. We're in a whole bunch of different combos. So I'll just explain right now what I'm going to have. We're going to go right back to that later, but we got to pair it up and understanding that sometimes I'm not going to release. And one of the last ones we did, if you backtrack the Happy Pill stuff with the videos, was he kept a tight hook on here, and I was like this, and he followed this hook. And then I had this opportunity, like I couldn't release this hook, so I shot this forward, and then I butterflied this like this, and then I captured this kneecap, this ankle. I'm going through this very quickly. You can watch it, you'll see it, it's all there, right? So everything was attached, right? I'm only reacting off of his movements. So this is how we're actually gonna start. We're gonna start like this, right? With one knee up, like this. And I'm gonna ask you to do a simple drill with a submission. All you have is your kneecap up. You'll see how this happens all the time. All you got to do is react. One of the ways to pass, right, there's two different things, right? Obviously, I've shown you some jump overs and things like that, but we're not going to go there. Obviously, you can stack, but this is essential. Anytime that you can get your leg between his kneecaps and the groin areas, you take it. It's called one in, one out, okay? If you are the opposite player, you never, ever, ever give up that position. If for some reason you say, Mike, his instep literally was sitting on, you want to call it the taint, anything you want to call it, my testicles, I don't care what you call it. If this thing was so tight and you go, but he was inside, then shoot these things forward. He cannot be in between my kneecaps and my groin, ever. The essence of De La Rivas are this, right? Either they go outside or it doesn't make a difference. They're the same thing. I'm like this. I never want to lose that position. Now I'm the guy with knee in, one out. Two behind one, two shins are behind one. Two of my shins are behind one. That was the thing that I was working before. But I'm like this, and I just put my knee up. So I can't let this ever occur, okay? Because if he brings this guy up, right, now he doesn't, I don't, keep these guys up for me. The essence of this is I want you to understand this fundamental principle because it'll take you a long way. And if you understand it, you will revert back to it and then start your next chapter and how you're going to pass off of his reaction. So it's incredibly important that you just go. And I get actually, some of the younger kids that want to compete, they drive me crazy sometimes. They'll literally be like this. Mr. Ezekiel, if you're here, you know what I'm talking about. Like this. He's here and he's driving. And he's just like this, and he went, whew, and then he goes and grabs this leg. I was just in this position to potentially land the beginning of the chapter, two behind one, but I back out and go all the way around that turn over there. Me and him had a discussion. He knows that I will shave that green hair off his head if he does it again, right? So I want to drive forward, and the 2 behind 1 is critical, okay? So you're always going back to that first beginning, no matter what, right? This one is like this. We're 1 in, 1 out. So if you remember the passing, I always said we were going to try our best to get in front of this shin. So we're going to start here. And how they teach this is a lot of different ways, right? You're supposed to grab this guy's collar and lift his elbow and then slide, right? So we'll go like this and slide through, and now you take position. This is nogi, brother. Can't do that shit, okay? Like this, okay? Now they teach you this. You're supposed to come underneath here, right? Take dominant position of his head, slide through. If he's a good player and fundamentally been sound from the very beginning, you know how critical that inside pocket is. That's the principle of arm drags, omoplatas, clamps, everything. The man has this hand in this triangle. I would kill him at a competition. I'd rather see you get knee slide, but do not give up that position, ever. You do not take your elbows off of your rib cages, ever. There's times that when you're hunting and attacking, I mean, those are the essence of wrist rides, right? When you're in turtle and the guy grabs your wrist because you don't know how to get up. And so you got to have these fundamentals ingrained in you, right? He's like this, okay? So if I just told you this, you think I can get in there? No, right? But there's always the opportunity to grab onto his head. So think of this in a standing position. Like if we were playing stand-up, the reason you collar tie is to put this thing between, besides snapping, I'm not going to go with that, is to keep this barrier between us. It's almost like a shield. So when I land here, I'm like this, okay? I know he would like to get to my backside. That's what he'd like to do. There's some things that are incredibly critical for you to understand. I can never make separation with my glute, and unfortunately, I know some people are tight on their hams. You got to get down on them. I can't make separation here. The second thing is he wants to grab onto here, and I don't mind if he does, right? But he can't grab onto this ankle, okay? Because later on, I'm going to ask you to grab onto his ankle. If he grabs onto my ankle, and I forget about this for a second, and I go to finish my slide through, he owns the back side. And now as I'm trying to turn, I can't turn because he controls the ligament. It's the same principle as when we're doing back takes, and he starts dominating the ACL ligament. And now I'm coming up, and he's doing this. Darn, I just lost this, okay? So I have to protect my backside ankle. I know it sounds crazy. I'm over here passing. Yeah, I know. You're going to do this. You're going to bring this leg up, and you're going to go. He's on that backside ankle already. I got trouble, man. I got to change my position now. So when I come up like this, my first reaction is to bury, right? I'm not going to let you, no matter what. I don't care if I'm glued on the backside. You are not sliding and touching my ankle, because then I have to reposition this kneecap this way. I'm not going to go down that chain, but I got to think how you're thinking. I'm like this now. Remember I said he wanted to come up, right? So I told you the story about the wrestler. Put this hand here, because he wants to come up and I want to push, but I'm sliding through. I know you want this. I know they taught you this. Let's be realistic, right? It's quarter-second speeds, right? We're playing the game at a high level. We're not going to say like, okay, I get everything I want. That's not how life works. You don't get everything you want. You got to deal with what's thrown at you, right? So now your knee came up like this. You're going to start here, right? Go slow. I'm starting to come through. What did we say? We got to make a barrier between us so that I shield that leg. So I'm like this, turning in. I don't want you to get under there, right? I have no problem now. I know you might think, oh, you look kind of funny. I'm not going to end this in a side control pin. What people will do is they'll slide through and they're coming like this. I'm not going to end here, because by the time I come here, it pushes me away, and now he slides his back kneecap in, and now he recovers guard. I'm not going to end there. My vision on it is to end in a north-south and hunt, 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 okay? If he doesn't know what he's doing, you just come right back in. High-level player is going to continue his turn because he knows you're coming out, and he's missed this ankle. So envision it now. You're like this. You just landed. I went heavy like this, blocking. I would love to have the collar, but maybe I don't. I'm still like this. All I cared about was releasing my kneecap. As we're sliding through, my first knee's going to hit, my second knee's going to backstep. So what you're seeing, I'm going to ask Ethan to go to turtle. What you're seeing is this. As I'm sliding through, Ethan's coming to turtle. I'm lacing the neck and dropping on the other side. I'll do it again. You're like this. Kneecap is up, right? head's going to end up right behind this tricep. It's critical because I don't want him tripoding. I want to control this elbow, and I want to attack this quadrant as I come over, right? So I'm like this. This guy's got to come to turtle. If he doesn't come to turtle, I just take it back. I just take him back to side control and 2 points. But in high-level comp, if you're looking to compete, his coach is going to scream to him, turn now. Because if you get stuck on that position, he drives you back. You lost the 2. He'll only give you an advantage if you can hold a position from north-south and he's stuck in turtle. Regardless, I don't care. I'm playing submission only benefits me to finish the move. So as I land this position, I said I protect that backside ankle. I'm in here burying it, right? So there's a barrier here. I would love this neck. And if I don't get it, I'm going to say I don't. I'm going to say, hey, nothing's ever thrown at me in my favor, and I got to deal with it. So my hands are here. Obviously, I would love this so that I have a barrier at this shoulder. If I have a barrier, potentially I could drive him back. I'm going to say, no, my world doesn't work that way. I get on the line at the easy pass, and my guys in front doesn't have the easy pass. I get on the line at the freaking grocery. She forgot her freaking credit card. That's how it is, right? And I accept it. And I'm like this at this point. So as I'm sliding through, I'm not asking you to end on this quadrant. I'm asking you to end on this. So what you're going to see is, as we're sliding through, Ethan's coming to turtle. Nothing prevents me from wrapping the head. I said my ear line is going to be here because I got to pull this out. So we're going to go into a simple darce. I won't go into any crazy techniques on the darce. I'm like this. As Ethan's coming up, I'm lacing the neck. I'm dropping behind that tricep because now I have this free hand to yank this out. I don't want him pulling. I don't want him to go to tripod. I don't want him to sit back. I own the neck right now, so I could go to a guillotine, but I'm going to pull this out and then base it off of the reaction that he gives me. But if he wants to either protect here, he pulls that back. I go on my neck, but I'm not telling you which one. I'm telling you which one. I'm not giving you an option. You're here, you drop your neck, you drop your ear line behind that tricep. The first action is to yank this out and pair these two things together. Now I'm going to go on the attack of this quadrant. I now own this artery, I own that artery. Let's finish this now, right? We're like at this point now, my hands were here, I pulled out, I marry up my hands, I'm not going to go through any detail on this. All you're going to do is start turning. If he doesn't go over, I'm going to start finishing him. He knows it's going to get tight. Try not to lay your hips on the mat. As I come through, I turn them over. As I do, I capture that back top elbow line, and I finish. Okay, one more time. So now you're starting to understand. Remember I said about that pass? Remember the flare now? Watch, okay? But I'm going to ask you, don't do it on me. I need you to get that good. I need you to get that really well. You're like this, right? And now he was like this, and I go flare, right? And I just realized this thing's so tight, but center pocket's open. I'm up in the center line, right? Maybe I'm like this. This is what I was showing you guys, right? So now you're starting to see, I'll take whatever you give me, man. Whatever you give me, as long as I can get position and advance my position. I'm like this. This is what we were doing now. We went like this. We released, drove forward, landed 2 behind 1. Think that's that easy? If this hook was so tight, how are you going to get this leg to this side? Not that easy, but center line's open, so you should have shot up as a rocket. In slow motion, I went, I'm up, I'm cutting, right? Ethan's coming to turtles, I'm sliding through, I'm dropping, I'm collecting that elbow, I'm yanking a tight connection. I got a good bite on it, I'm coming over. Let's partner up and do it. Remember I said, don't re-square on him. If you re-square on him, he's going to recover. I'm not trying to teach you the moves that work from black to blue and black to purple. I don't believe in them, okay? I believe the game's evolved a bit, right? Like this. I know that this guy's not watching. I obviously know. He asked me if he could record this, but he was sitting there and he was telling me, he trains at a very famous place, and he goes, man, you guys here? He's been getting his ass handed to him all week. And he said to me, man, you guys here like do this in a system. Like, I don't understand this, like, not where we do it. And I go, how do you do it? He goes, we do one thing at a time. I went, oh, now this is last week he told me that. Oh, one thing at a time, because you have one thing, and we pause. Okay. And then he rolled with Abel. I don't know where Abel is right now. He rolled with Abel. This guy's been going BJJ 15 years, wants to get to an elite black belt. Abel's been here 9 months. Abel treated him like he was a puppy. And he went, I don't understand what that young man was doing. Okay, because you go one thing at a time, And you got to rethink this, and nothing has a system. The system is the way to go. All right? And the reason I bring this up is you're like this. And some people are keeping their head positions high. My head has a goal. If nothing else, I couldn't see, and my hands are tired, and everything's going wrong for me. I'm like this, right? But don't worry about this. I worry about the head right now. When I slid through like this, I'm blocking, I'm going to get this foot out. Let me just ask you this question, because I'm not going to ask you. Let's say you say, Mike, you couldn't get the foot out. Okay, now we're back on this leg back here, because I couldn't get the foot out. So does that really work for you? You don't want to let go of the foot? He'll get the foot out, okay? I'm going to go, either you're going to get this leg attack, because if you want to keep my foot, or you're going to accept it like, shit, man, he's about to backstep on me. I'm going like, and maybe you lift his back leg, right? And lift his back leg, so I'm like, okay, now you let this pass happen, right? I'm going to keep tricking you which way I'm going to flinch on you. But we're going to say I finished the pass, okay? Let's talk about the head for a second. When I'm like this at this point, we don't worry about anything else except this head right now. I'm like this, pretending everything's going wrong for me, nothing's in my favor, and I'm going to keep fighting, right? I'm like this. And now I'm sliding through. And now he's coming to turtle. We said this hand would wrap over, and I see people doing this. This head, this arm is going to collect with my head. I'm not going to, let me ask you this question. First of all, even on the darce and the roll, shouldn't your head be down there? Of course it should be. So why is your head here? Why is your head not dominating this arm? When Nathan now turns, I'm like this at this point, and I went like this, and he turns. And I know where my head needs to go. It needs to dominate this arm right now. This is just for later. This is supplementary. He may pick this leg up if he wants it. Now, I hook this leg and drive him back maybe, but this head is here. Nathan will tell you, if I didn't have, I'm not letting go of that. I'm not letting go of that head. I'm not letting go of the position behind this tricep, and my head is dominating the position. Can't get rid of my head. Right now, I pair my hands up, so I see some people keeping this head up here, or I see it here. Your head is buried here. It has a hook, and it's ripping out, ripping out, ripping out. Use your head. It's the same principle in passing and like here, right? Go down a second. Remember this, when he was like this, and he fights, and now he comes inside on me. He just won head position, right? When I'm like this, and I'm going, okay, I'm using my head, and I told you about these flare passes, and I'm like, Dah! And I use my head position. Like, use your head. It is a tool. I'll show it to you over and over and over. Somebody asked me yesterday about this wrist ride. Come on. Use your freaking head. Use everything you have to win. You're like this. And I did this wrist ride on this guy, and I went like this. I was driving this thing hard, and he's trying to bridge up on me. Bridge this up high. He's like this. So I took these shorts and I ripped them down, and now I'm like this, holding him down. Some people will stay here and try to step over. Some people will hunt. I don't want to do anything other than bite this hip on my head and use my head. When Nathan tries to get up now, I'm using my chin, everything I have to make this pocket open. My head position's not moving. Nathan will tell you he feels me on his hip. Now I'm blocking and stepping, and now we're high. Use your head, okay? Let's part up and do what we're going to do right now. You have a timer, okay, and you're in side control. You're like this, and he's turning, and he's coming up to turtle. Head position. Other side. I'm like this. He's pushing and pushing. Head position. Right back again. He's coming out. He's pushing. Head position. Back again. He's turning. He's turning. He's turning. Head position. Right? Back and forth. You're on for a minute. I'll yield time. You flip. Do me a favor. The people that want to be great, count how many reps he did and go, man, you're a slacker. I'm going to do 2 more than you did. Okay? Let's rock. They're turning. Mr. Vlad. Like, I mean, dude, you would have been done already. How about you turn and have some fundamentals that are absolutely correct when you fight the turtle? You just would have gotten submitted. You're so exposed. Why don't you say to him, all right, take whatever you want. Go ahead. Yeah, take it. I'll tell you. That's what I see. Like high-level players who go, man, you know what? Let me roll with somebody else because I want to make this challenging. So you can't just go like this. Like you got caught on the wrist ride. Like you got picked apart with this leg. Like you're here like this, right? And you're here like this. And you're pushing away. Your knee elbow escaping. And you're doing everything you can. Remember this recovery? This recovery I showed you the other day. That I'm here like this. and I went up on the shoulder, and I came up like this. It's the same position, like this. I'm fighting the elbow, escaping, and I'm super tight on my turtle. I'm coming up, trying to block everything. I'm like this. I'm doing everything I can. Do it right. Do it right. Do it right. So bottom player, like, I mean, listen, you let him have the elbow when he grabs it, because if you practice it right, just let him have the elbow. If you practice it right, he should have never dropped behind there, right? Now you're going to get dominated, and now he's going to really hurt you. Like, he's going to put you to sleep, or he's going to just snap you. Forget a high level black belt's just going to crush you, right? It's just going to crush you. Just wait, like this. Like, who cares? Like, if you fought somebody that was like Mikey Muschielli and Gordon Ryan are such different sizes. When I asked Gordon, like, who was that toughest role for you when you did that camp with all these famous guys? He said, you're not going to believe it's Mikey Muschielli. I mean, he's like 100-pound different. Yeah, I know, he's probably so ridiculously technical. He doesn't leave any openings. And he is. He's like one of the top 3 flayers in the world, right? There's a reason for it. Nothing, right? I'm like this. I mean, how tight. Okay. And now this guy should have been yanking this arm out. Let him have it. But if I'm like this, and this is how I've been reinforced. This is how I see some people go, they're going, turn. Okay. Like, oh my God, look how you even left the arm out. And he's going, turn. You think that that gets better for you later? No, it doesn't. It gets worse. Okay, so we're on second 2. Bottom player. You have to, you got to get something out of this too, man. It can't be one-sided. Get something out of it. Top player, you're doing that the same thing. Only thing I'm going to ask is the bottom player, let him take the arm out. Let him take the arm out, okay? Because let's keep this guy down on the floor. You got 5 reps. The other guy's got 5 reps. You got 5 reps. I don't want the exchange, because the exchange takes too much time. Sometimes when I tell high-level players, stop submitting him. And they'll go, but why? And I'll go, because you're here to work. Lock the submission up. You know what's going to happen? You're going to tap him. And then he gets up and he goes, oh, hold on a second. He grabs the towel. He's like, wow, man. And I'm like, dude, really? Like, I'm here to work, man. I'm here to work. BJJ remembers life, right? So do not, you get in there. Get right back on him. So 5 in a row, you lay the hell right back down. You lay the hell right back down. So we're going to start it from here, right? Everybody's been doing the same thing. I'm going to ask you if you can. Maybe we incorporate this one now, right? If he was sitting up, we're like this. I'm going to ask no sticky hooks, okay? Because you got to read the hooks. I'm like this. I come inside, lay back down so everybody sees this. I'm like this, trying to do this. But he follows me with this. I'm going to ask the person on this side, don't follow him. So he can start reading it, because we've already addressed if he followed, how I rock it forward. We've addressed that already. My goal initially, I was never going to short any of my moves. I was going to try to get 2 shins behind one. And I went like this. And now we know we're not going to get behind here. So I take inside position. I lift it up. I come forward. I start my knee slide. As I come forward on the knee slide, I'm coming over the top. I'm about to come through. Here comes the turtle. I drop and I collect. Doesn't have to be speed right now. Has to be precision. Okay, so let's partner up. You got 5, he's got 5. That level of your training. Georgie, hop on down. Nick. Okay, Nick did a couple of things early that were just off. Do the things you were doing off. Right? He went like this, he came forward, and he put his hand here. That hand has a linear line to here. How it happens, I don't know, but I'm going to go linear. I'm not going to put it so make you go up again like you did. Right? One other time it moved here. Okay? Now do it from the very beginning. Slow and perfect. Slow and perfect becomes fast and lethal later. Went linear line, sliding on the hip. Go ahead. Yep. Perfect. Stepped it over. Beautiful. One more time. Georgie, boy, everybody's got eyes on you, man. I can't wait to see what you do. Poor guy. I love him. That's why I can bust his balls. There you go. Slide it right through, kiddo. That didn't have a slide. You mimic that again, right? He tried to turn. His kneecap was held. Like, perfect. George, you're up. Go slow. Everybody's got their eyes on you. Let's see what he does. He flared. He brought his leg. Oh, it's not bad. He just turned and didn't slide his hip through. Back again one more time. Much better. Yeah, much, much better, George. Yeah. He flared. He came up to the center. He was late on that one. You stay right there. He's not sliding through, but that's okay. That arm went over here, and then he caught himself. Right? That thing goes straight up the pocket. Does Mike Tyson go? No, he goes straight, right? Stay right there for me. I know you want to face him, but he's biting your foot. Really lay on the hip. Lay on the hip. Yes, sir. And that's what I'm sliding through. Like, yeah, there you go. Right? I got to protect that backside. Right? Mr. Athan, let's see it. Can you stay down? Where is he? Go ahead. Let me see. Right? And this isn't to make fun of anybody. It's more of a demonstration tool for all of us to go, damn, I didn't realize I'm putting my hand here first and then, like, no, like, I'm going A, B, A, B, A, like that. Inside frames, he flares, brought his leg up. Look where he put his hand first. He put his right hand to his hip. That's it. Yeah, I just wanted to point that you'll see. You will mirror that same thing, and that's the time you lost him. Or you're like this, and now he laces underneath here, right? So now you start to see when I say about that, it's just a demonstration to go, you're going to revert back to the level of your training. Not going to pass, right? You didn't slide through. Like when I say slow it down, drill perfection. There were times earlier that I told you that story, like it's not always going to be in my favor, and I feel like it never is. And I don't mind. I want it that way. Somebody said to me, whenever those lottos come out, you play a lotto? I go, no, I don't play lotto. And they say, why not? There's like 90 million, whatever, gazillion dollars. I said, dude, I don't want it for free, man. I want to earn it. I want to know it feels like it's something if I got to earn it. I don't want it. I told Cynthia one time when they said, I said, oh, man, you play a lot, whatever. People are like, oh, you got to play again. I said, man, my life's not going to change. It's going to be the same. I'm going to be here Friday morning, exactly the same. Your lives would change because everybody was in that class. You get this much, you get this much. You guys lie. I don't want it. I want to earn it, baby. So let's do it, kids. Let's get 2 minutes.
7:30, or after 7:30 to make it easier, maybe professionally too. So like 8.
Yeah.